Welcome back to the Birdhouse and our redraft recap of the Crackhead League. Yes, the league that drafts every single Super Bowl Sunday. We just finished up the Super Bowl with Seattle taking the crown over the New England Patriots. Kenneth Walker running roughshod over the New England Patriots defense, and their Seattle defense just dominating the evening. Drake May with nothing he could do really to get around the Seahawks defense until the fourth quarter when they laid off a little. But Kenneth Walker, the big man tonight with over 170 yards rushing, he gets the MVP. And so let's see where Drake May, Kenneth Walker, and everybody else went in this redraft to give you guys an idea where the 2026 redraft rankings are sitting at currently. So we've got, let me lay this out a little. There we go. All right. So I ended up with the third pick of the draft. I had the second option. The first option, Anthony, break yourself. He took the fifth pick, which was interesting, I thought. So he went right in the middle. Now, this is a 10-team league. I know it sounds simple being a 10-team league, but it's a home league, and we want to make sure that we get everybody there in person live on Super Bowl Sunday drafting, because we also have an interesting caveat to this league, and that is that there is no cheat sheets allowed. Yes, we throw our phones today. We threw our phones in the middle of the kitchen table, and we all had to draft off the top of our heads. So yes, there is a little bit of strategy that goes on with that caveat. So yes, Anthony went ahead with the fifth pick starting there, and then I took the third pick, figuring that the two quarterbacks would go first. However, because I kind of wanted Bijan, honestly, but Bijan went second to Kelsey, MSB Joy there, and then I settled for Drake May, who tonight didn't give any hope for a good 2026 season, but look, the guy's young, finished second in quarterback points in most leagues, and I know it's it's a 10-team league only, 10-team start 10, so it's very shallow. But again, this is a fun league. We do it on Super Bowl Sunday every year, and so I just want to give you guys some insight as to where some of people are feeling the rankings are at currently. And so you can see there, Josh Allen went number one overall to Matt Warren. Kelsey took Bijan second. I went ahead with Drake May, then Jahmyr Gibbs. This is a full PPR league. The only other little nuance, it is a 6-point per passing touchdown and 0.1. Yes, 0.1 for passing completions. So it does help out some of the pocket passers for sure. But I still went ahead with one of the better scramblers in the NFL right now in Drake May as my first overall pick. But Jahmyr Gibbs then went to Kyle, re-educated there at the 104. Then break yourself with the first surprise of the night. He had his kid make the pick, and his kid went ahead with Malik Neighbors. Now, it's interesting. I don't hate the pick. Yes, JSN, Chase, and Puka are considered in a higher tier, right? But Malik Neighbors has he has a good chance to be the wide receiver overall number one going into this upcoming season. Hopefully he can stay healthy and then possibly make that a dream come true for Anthony and his kid. But again, I don't hate it. We have fun with this league, and it's a good time. But yet, I don't personally, I wouldn't have taken Neighbors, but again, he's getting one of the top 5-6 wide receivers in that elite tier. If you want to make it a larger tier, I know a lot of people have narrowed it down, especially in Dynasty, to Chase, JSN, and Puka, which just happened to be the next three players chosen. For me, You can put them in any order you want. In a format like this, 10-team, I would have been taking Chase probably with the hopes that I could land Burrow on the come around. But as you can see, a lot of people were passing up on the quarterbacks this year. Now, granted, it is a 10-teamer, so a quarterback isn't quite as valuable as it is in a 12-team league or more, 14, 16, Superflex, obviously. Yes, but 10-team leagues, everybody's going to get at least 2 quarterbacks or 3 quarterbacks if they so wish. Now, not everybody even drafted 3 quarterbacks here. As you can see, for instance, I was able to land Lamar Jackson all the way around. You see the 5 wide receivers went in a row. Neighbors, Chase, JSN, Puka, and then Amon-Ra St. Brown. So Amon-Ra is the first one where it got a little dicey for Grant. You could have gone Amon-Ra, CD, Achan, CMC, or any quarterback, honestly, of the top. I would say Lamar, Hurts, Burrow, Jaden Daniels, you could throw in there. But as you can see, people got great value at quarterback, making me feel like an idiot for going 2 quarterbacks in the first 2 rounds. But that said, I feel like I've got a real good shot at 2 top 5 quarterbacks. So anyway, with the 5 wide receivers going straight, Mark took advantage of that at the 1-2 turn. We're doing a 3rd round reversal, so he was picking first again in the 3rd round. But he took advantage of those 5 wide receivers going straight and took the next 2 best running backs, in my opinion, for a redraft format. Definitely have to move CMC up the boards versus a dynasty format. And so CMC and Achan, not afraid of the coaching change there. Personally, I'm not really that afraid of it either. I mean, there isn't a whole lot going on there in Miami, regardless of who they draft. Like, let's say they do draft one of the top wide receivers. Well, that's only going to help out the wide receiver room, whoever they end up with at quarterback. The rumors are that Tua is going to be cut. So will it be Malik Willis? Will it be somebody else at quarterback for Miami this year? Who knows? But Achan is going to be the bulk recipient of the touches in the backfield, and he obviously can catch the rock, which McCaffrey can do as well. So 2 great picks there from Mark. I'll give it to him. Amon-Ra and then grabbing CD on the backside is a home run start for me in a full PPR league. Same with For the Brand, going Puka and then Justin Jefferson. Now, Jefferson obviously had a down season due to most significantly because of his quarterback play. And we'll see. Do the Vikings hang on to McCarthy? Do they go look elsewhere this offseason? We'll see. McCaffrey, JJ McCarthy could definitely improve this offseason, and Minnesota could decide to stick with him. And then 2025 will be all water under the bridge, and nobody will remember how bad Jetta's season was this year. Anyway, next up, JT went to Steve. So he started off JSN JT. Then McBride went. It is half-point tight end PPR, so half-point tight end premium, I mean. So there is some advantage there. Half-point tight end premium doesn't excite me as much, but still getting McBride, who set the record for tight end catches this year at pick 15. Yeah, I don't hate on that for Havdi, especially when Joe Burrow was able to come back around to him at the 305. Now, like personally, I probably would have jumped on Burrow had I been picking there, and so that would have been a mistake. So good job, Havdi. You had it fall right into your lap the way you wanted. Break yourself after taking Neighbors in the first round, started a run of running backs. He went with James Cook, the 2025 rushing leader. Then Kyle decided to go Nico Collins. I was a little surprised there. I thought he'd go quarterback. I don't hate the Nico pick. I just see him as in a different tier from the top 7 wide receivers that were taken. So then you have Nico and Drake London. I personally, it's kind of a toss-up between Nico and London. I guess it's hard because you don't know their quarterback play is not exactly the best. So, but you can say that about Justin Jefferson as well. So, yeah, I'm not going to hate on the Nico pick because I was happy at that point in the draft. Lamar was just falling and falling and falling, and I would have been happy with Jalen Hurts as well. I mean, I know the format is 0.1 per completion, and 6 points per touchdown pass, but I still these elite and rushing quarterbacks, it only really hurts the middling rushing quarterbacks when it's in that format. You still have Josh Allen gaining, like he was still the top scorer, right? Josh Allen's still gaining a bunch of extra points because of his rushing touchdowns. Same with Drake May. Same with, hopefully, with Lamar Jackson and Jalen Hurts. Now Lamar, yes, I was taking a little bit of a risk that he'll bounce back. Last year's rushing totals weren't great. He was banged up a lot. So I'm hoping that this year he will bounce back there. And so then Kelsey jumped on Jalen Hurts sitting there, and Matt Warren went Drake London. So I think this top 20, all in all, was pretty solid. I would probably think that Bowers and or Burrow should be up in the mix. You could consider Jaden Daniels and Patrick Mahomes as well. But as you can see here, 10-team league, quarterbacks fall. And these guys played it smart. All these guys grabbed this value that fell because they didn't go quarterback. And then a number of them made up for that value that was falling at quarterback later. I'll give you my favorite quarterback builds that ended up happening here. But to continue, we went to the 301 where Mark jumped on Rashee Rice. Rashee Rice, yeah, obviously off the field issues. But if you're ranking him, if he had 0 off the field issues, like he is literally up here with CeeDee Lamb and Amon-Ra St. Brown. So Mark rolling the dice here. He's rolling the dice on McCaffrey staying healthy, rolling the dice on Rashee Rice being available all season. Chase Brown then going to Grant. Solid pick. Ashton Genty, I like the pick for Brandon. Saquon Barkley then moving up here. Steve grabbing Saquon. I think I was a little surprised at that. I was eyeing up Omarion Hampton for sure with my pick here at the 308, but Anthony jumped on him at the 306. I already went over Burrow, the Burrow pick I love. And then Kyle grabbed Bucky Irving. So that left me with the choice whether I wanted to go strong after the running backs, strong after wide receivers. And at this point, the top wide receivers in my mind were all gone. A.J. Brown, yes, I love, and I could have gone that route, but I decided to go with the King Henry. It's redraft, not worried about the age. And I already had bet on Lamar Jackson, so let's just roll heavy into the Baltimore offense performing well with a new offensive coordinator this season. I think that this offense can get back to where it was 2 years ago. Then Kelsey, as you can see, was more than happy to grab the stack with Jalen Hurts and A.J. Brown. And then Matt Warren had Brock Bowers just fall right into his lap. So you can see here, a lot of solid picks. As I said, there's sort of a tier break. Probably if you move Nico down, I'd say I don't even want to do that because Nico's very, very solid, just a hair under the elite group of wide receivers. So you could say I'd take the top 20 that are here, and then Rashee Rice, Burrow, Hampton, and Bowers. Those would be the top 24, I think. So that's what you could be looking at in a 12-teamer as your top 24. Henry, you can argue up in there too. Henry, honestly, if it's redraft, like he should be going somewhere between CMC, Taylor, and James Cook. You're projecting when you're going with Ashton Genty and Omarion Hampton, although those projections look to be very good going forward, especially with Genty getting a new head coach, new quarterback. Omarion Hampton getting Mike McDaniel. Love Hampton's outlook for the upcoming season. So lots of solid picks here in the third round. And I don't see anybody where I really hate on the pick. Like Saquon could have a real good bounce back season for Steve. AJ Brown obviously has been a monster for years, and Bucky Irving also looking for a bounce back year for the Bucs. So then we get into round 4 here, and round 4, I love the George Pickens pick. After that, you can see, to me, that's where you really see a tier break. So the top 30 plus Pickens, and I don't know that I would throw anybody else up ahead there. Chris Olave is just a hair below Pickens. He's just not as explosive. Quarterback play isn't proven yet, though Tyler Shook and Olave displayed good rhythm and connection down the stretch. So definitely not hating on the Olave pick there, because I do think he'd be near the top of whatever the next tier is here, starting at pick 32. Okay. I went ahead and grabbed Jeremiah Love, the rookie. Don't know where he's going. I'm banking on a good landing spot, maybe the Chiefs, maybe the Cowboys, somewhere else where he is the top dog. That is the hopes. Last year, I did grab Ashton Genty in this league in the third round. So to be able to grab Jeremiah Love, the expected 101 in all Dynasty formats, somebody who's going to come in and should be a bell cow back for whatever team he goes to, I'm excited for that pick. Next up, we've got Kyren Williams. This is Kyle leaning into the running backs here, going Gibbs, Bucky, and Kyren. Then we had Super Bowl MVP Kenneth Walker, who's definitely moved up the board. So Henry and Love were the 12th and 13th running backs off the board. 14th was Kyren, and 15th now is Kenneth Walker. Walker was hanging around running back 20-ish during most of the season, but obviously this postseason burst from Kenny Walker has definitely upped his stock for sure. Now and then we have Travion Henderson, who didn't do a whole lot until he got free there at the very, very tail end of the game. So that was an interesting pick from Havdi, but it's a risk, and we'll see how that one performs. You can see after that he went heavy at the wide receivers, so he's going with the late hero running back strategy here. Then Ladd went to Steve, Ted McMillan to Brandon, Josh Jacobs, Cam Scattaboo, solid picks. Then Ibuka to Mark, T. Higgins. Then finally, Patrick Mahomes goes. So, when I take Lamar Jackson and Drake May in the first 2 rounds, I'm hoping for as many quarterbacks to get off the board as possible in the next couple of rounds, and that simply just did not happen. Like just Jalen Hurts and Joe Burrow went. That was pretty disappointing for me, but I had to deal with it, and I think I pivoted all right. We had, after Mahomes, Breece Hall, the free agent, went, then Devonta Smith to Havdi, Quinshon Judkins, the 4th running back in a row to break yourself. So you can see last year, Anthony went wide receiver heavy. I think he went 5 straight wide receivers out of the gate. And this format, we just have to start only 1 running back, only 2 wide receivers, tight end, and then 4 flexes. So then you have the quarterback and super flex. So you can see you can build it however you want. Anthony decided to go running back heavy this time around. Then Cortland Sutton to Kyle. Don't love his outlook. He's older now, but still the top dog in Denver in that wide receiver room. So can't really. It was a very safe pick. We'll just put it that way. It might not be terrible. I just think it's low upside, high floor. Put it that way. Then I went Zay Flowers. Kind of similar, but it's hook up with Lamar Jackson. Flowers has been putting up great yardage the last couple of seasons, and I hope that just continues there. DJ Moore, a little bit early for my liking, but solid. She's trying to build up the wide receiver room there. Then Garrett Wilson and Mike Evans. So Matt Warren going the wide receiver heavy route early on in this draft. Sam Laporta then next as the third tight end off the board. Little surprise. Little bit, but not actually. I mean, Laporta is somewhat, I don't know. Colson Loveland's definitely ranked. That made me think hard about taking Colson Loveland, where I took Travis. It was Travis. Yes. Travis Etienne. But I love waiting on tight ends, gaining value elsewhere. And with my QB build strong, I wanted to punt on tight end essentially. And you'll see what I ended up getting with that strategy later on. Then you have JMO going to Kyle, Devonta Adams there for Break Yourself, Jalen Waddle to Havdi, Justin Herbert, Jaden Daniels, Brian Thomas, and then Jackson Dart. So there's where we got finally a little run at quarterback, but it was a little late for my liking. Although the fact that those guys went the quarterbacks finally, it allowed, as you can see on the way back, it allowed for Javonte Williams, the last true starter that I really could see. We don't know where he's going to be, whether he's going back to Dallas or somewhere else. But I love getting him in the 7th round, at least as a 4th running back there. I knew there were still a couple decent wide receivers. So you can see, now that we're in the middle of the draft, we can just show you what my squad ended up like. I don't want to talk too heavily about my own team, but you can see I went 2 QBs up top. That meant I was going to not pick another quarterback. I was going after, again, it's only a 10-team league. I can pick up a 3rd quarterback for buys or whatever. Who knows, wherever. I am betting on these 2 guys producing heavily for this squad. So you can see I waited a little on wide receiver, but still I think ended up with decent guys who, outproduced their ADPs in Michael Wilson and Alec Pierce last year. Jordan Addison with a disappointing year. He fell tremendously. DK, I think you know what you get stats-wise with DK, whether it's Aaron Rodgers back with Mike McCarthy there in Pittsburgh. I'm happy to see it for DK that McCarthy is there, because whoever is back there, whether it's Rodgers, Mason Rudolph, Will Howard, or a rookie, McCarthy likes to throw the ball. And so that's going to happen one way or the other. I got Blake Corum later. Arande Gadsden is when I finally bit the bullet in round 12. I just couldn't let him fall anymore, because Gadsden's somebody I really like as having the potential of finishing top 5 with his big boom weeks. And then I grabbed my guy, Hunter Henry, very late. Ramondre Stevenson fell to round 14. I love that. And then I scooped up the rookie, Denzel Boston, in the last round. Okay, let's go back to the others, because they don't want to hear me talk about my team. They want to hear about their teams. So Kyle, he grabbed the other rookie one of the top 3 rookie wide receivers in Carnell Tate here, adding to his strong wide receiver room in Nico Collins, Cortland Sutton, JMO, Tate, Quentin Johnson, and Debo. I like his wide receiver room. It's got some upside with stability there. He weighed in on quarterback, ended up with Jared Goff and Tyler Shook. Okay, don't hate it because of the value. He got him in rounds 9 and 11, so that's fine. If you want to look at some value, though, at quarterback, I love what Anthony was able to grab here with Caleb Williams and Trevor Lawrence. I'm not a big Matthew Golden fan. He is. Luther Burden, I like that pick. He was able to grab 3 Bears here in the middle to jump on there. Elevating offense, we'll just call it. Havdi, I like what he did at quarterback here. If we're talking quarterbacks, Burrow, Purdy, scooped up Malik Willis super late. Purdy, round 9. I mean, you got to love that. Heavy on the wide receivers. He's got a strong wide receiver room going there for him. And then he's just going to play the roulette at running back all season and hope that one of these guys, at least one, if not 2, do produce for him. Steve, you can see here, pretty solid team all around. Nothing too high, nothing too low, though. I mean, good running backs in JT, Barkley, and Brees Hall. Like, you can't argue. Those are three solid running backs. Then JSN, McConkey, Christian Watson, love that pick. Jennings, Wandale, Josh Jones, solid picks. Just a solid draft here for Steve all around. Brandon, love the quarterback room here, especially with Mahomes and Jaden Daniels. Like, these are dudes that are going in like the second and third rounds normally. So that was those were two steals, I think, for Brandon. Very nice to team up with two top end talent wide receivers, along with the rookie Ted McMillan from this past season. Added Jordan Tyson, top end rookie for the 2026 draft. So very nice squad here. Don't love the running backs, but again, you only need to start one. If Braylon Allen is the lead dog with Jets, that looks a lot better. Rico Dowdle could sign somewhere and be the top dog. So not looking bad at all here for Brandon. Grant, he waited on quarterbacks as well. Don't love the quarterbacks he got. Sam Darnold and Stroud, not exactly the highest upside, but he was the one of everybody that waited the longest to draft a quarterback. So he gained value elsewhere, like loaded wide receiver room here. Amon-Ra, CD, T. Higgins, Brian Thomas as his fourth wideout. I mean, Rome Odunze is his sixth wideout. That's gross. Like, that's stacked at wide receiver. So he's got plenty of room to try and wheel and deal if he wants. He can trade one of these top four wide receivers to help out at any other position, really, if you'd like to. Mark, as we started off here, good at the running back room, like Achan, CMC, Scadaboo, Harvey. That is nice. Rice, Ibuka, the rookie Malachi Lemon, right, Mark? Malachi Lemon. Then we got Jackson Dart and Bo Nix. Love those guys, getting them in the 6th and the 10th. That is solid stuff. Good job, Mark. I like the risk versus reward style you went with there. Now over here, we went the zero running back format here for Matt Warren. Like it actually, because you only got to start the one running back, remember, right? So between Tyler Algier, Jalen Warren, Chuba Hubbard, Kyle Monangai, even Jonathan Brooks, Aaron Jones, who knows, Joe Mixon in the 15th, whatever. Rashad White, who knows where he signs. So he just went all dart. He drafted it the right way, Matt Warren did. He just threw tons of darts at running backs late. Did not drafted Bowers early, did not draft another tight end. Good job. You know, Josh Allen, Dak Prescott, can't ask for anything more at quarterback. That is beautiful. So then you got London, Pickens, G-Dub, Evans. You know, I mean, as long as Evans doesn't retire like that, you're a solid top four wide receiver room right there. So love what Matt Warren was able to pull off there. Even though he didn't go running backs, he was the lone wolf at full-on zero running back. That is really the way to do it. I mean, there might have been, I don't know, at receiver, what could he have drafted? J-Mo, Devontae Adams, and Mike Evans are kind of in the same boat right now, right? Waddle isn't any, you know, Brian Thomas, sure. I don't see any other wide receiver that I necessarily would have said, yeah, you should have totally drafted him over Mike Evans. I mean, I love Mike Evans, but I don't know if he's playing next year. I don't know where he's playing next year yet, so I don't hate on it. He went with strategy, stuck with it, threw Ricky Pearsall in there just for safety. But yeah, I like it. Kelsey here, Bijan up top, then waited at running back. So true hero running back here. She loaded up elsewhere. Jalen Hurts and Baker Mayfield, very solid for quarterbacks. As you can see, she decided to load up at the tight ends and play into the half-point tight end premium. Use these guys for her flexes rather than running backs. So it worked well for her in the previous year, so she decided to roll the same way. So she's got Laporta, Kincaid, Goddard, Ferguson, and Hawkinson. So it gets ugly down here, but these guys score points. I mean, I did it all last year myself. Not loading up this much. Like, I wouldn't have grabbed Laporta early and then gone and done this, but it's still, she's got a solid wide receiver room. I don't know where DJ Moore is playing, but between they're all solid veterans. Maybe one burns you, but between DJ Moore, Pittman, and Ayuk, I think you're going to be okay there, Kelsey. But you're strong for sure with Bijan, Hurts, and Mayfield. Like I said, I wanted Bijan at the 103. You grabbed him on me. Anthony going with the running back heavy approach. He ended up with Cook, Hampton, Walker, and Judkins. Nice room. And I already mentioned the solid quarterbacks there. And Colson Loveland. So you got Neighbors, Adams, Burden, Golden, and Shakir. More than enough at wide receiver when you're talking this kind of running back room. Havdi, love the quarterbacks he ended up with. Got McBride early, did not draft another tight end. Good job. Running backs, he didn't go zero running back. He went fade hero running back with Hendo. But, if Hendo isn't hitting or whatever, Swift, whether he's in Chicago or somewhere else, he's probably going to be pretty solid. So scooped up Travis Hunter super late. Yeah, I like the risks near the end there. So, yeah, I don't hate on Havdi's draft here. He, when you got Burrow, Chase, just don't be an idiot the rest of the way. That's about it. Like, you're riding Burrow, Chase either to the title or not. So that's what you're doing. Steve here, Herbert, Stafford, Love, solid quarterback room. I don't know that I would have grabbed these two back to back with having drafted Herbert earlier. I wouldn't have mind just having Stafford and Love as the two quarterbacks. So one of these two picks I probably wouldn't have made. Maybe grab another receiver in there. I don't know, but I don't think you needed the three. That's all I'm saying there. But otherwise, very solid squad. I love the Watson, Jennings, Wan'Dale Robinson, Josh Downs picks. Can't argue with them. No other reaches or anything. So, yeah, solid draft there for Steve. For the brand, once again, great draft with Mahomes and Jaden Daniels in the middle. Went over the rest of his picks already. Grant here, again, fading the quarterback. What can I say? Like last year, the dude didn't draft a quarterback, I don't think at all. He just picked up quarterbacks afterwards and ended up with Rodgers, Darnold, just a bunch of quarterbacks still, and had one of the top 2 seeds in the league. So he loaded up early on, like Chase Brown, like Josh Jacobs, maybe like a little more depth at running back, but he's got tons of wide receivers. He can make a move if he wants to. So all in all, that is the draft. I think it hit everybody up. It's a 10-team league. It's fun. You got to really mess things up to not end up with a good team, a good-looking team in February for a redraft. Like, yes, some of these guys' values are going to change. Some of these guys are going to change teams, right? Breece Hall, Kenny Walker, maybe. Is George Pickens going back to Dallas? There's a lot of things that could potentially change things. Now, some of them we're kind of assuming, right? George Pickens is either going to get the franchise tag or sign a long-term deal. Yeah, we're kind of assuming that, but we don't know for sure. Breece Hall, is he going back to the Jets? Is he going to Washington? Is he going to Kansas City? Is he going somewhere else? I don't know. Kenny Walker just won the Super Bowl MVP. You'd think, oh, of course Seattle's signing him. We don't know. Maybe Rico Dowdle they could sign for half the money, and they got to they want to spend their money on their defense. I mean, it seemed to work out pretty well tonight. I was paying the money on the defense, but Kenny Walker definitely put himself in good bargaining position. We'll just say that. So anyway, that is that for the Crackhead Redraft Recap. Love this league. Love the guys. It is the best draft, I'm telling you, because it's still in person. My only league that's still in person, and that is still the best way to draft. But I love all my other leagues too. Don't get me wrong here. But anyway, that's all I've got for you tonight. Be sure to hit the like and subscribe. Make sure to check out the upcoming Birdhouse 5 format. Yes, Birdhouse 5 is alive. Yeah, 5 is alive. We are going to have a Birdhouse 5. So stay tuned for more details on that. And with that, I wish you all a great evening. Hope you enjoyed the Super Bowl and look forward to more from the Birdhouse. Remember to never stop working.